So let's talk about how you actually format your graph and make it look nice. So we've got this nice plot, Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, 4. And we talked about in the previous video, if that's not the titles you want to give it, you right-click to select data. And if you edit each data series, you can change the names. So we change that trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and trial 4. And unless you click OK at the very end, it's not going to save any of your changes. Now this is only part of the battle. The other part of the battle is making your graph look nice, make it look presentable. So to do this, as you'll notice under chart layouts, the first option here is going to give you everything you need to do a nice graph. So if you click on that, you're going to get access to a chart title, an axis title, and an axis title. So to edit the text, these are just text boxes that are automatically put in by Excel. Highlight the text. We've got time in seconds here, and whatever our Y value happens to be. Now, if you're like me, I have a lot of trouble highlighting on the Y-axis. It's just because it's not intuitive to me what happens. So if you are within the text box, you see the cursor blinking, you hit Ctrl A, it'll highlight all the text. So let's say this is absorbance. Traditionally, your chart title is whatever your Y-axis is versus your XS. So this would be absorbance versus time. And so now you got a nicer looking graph. It's actually properly labeled. You've got your axes labeled and you've got your title as well as your series labels. What else can you do in Excel to make it look pretty? Big one here underneath the design ribbon is the move chart option. So if you click on move chart, it's either going to let you put it as an object in a sheet, meaning it's going to be this floating graph, or, which we preferably do, is a new sheet. And what this does is it moves it to a whole new sheet, and this is really good for making the graphs look big and make them easy to see. So you've got your data, now you want it to be legible. So if you click on the text box once, if you click on it twice, it'll give you the ability to edit the text. Oops. But if you just click on it once, it'll highlight the corners. If you go to home, you see this increased font size. You can use this to increase the size of the font, and you probably want to do this for the bottom as well, but you want these to be at least size 14. And for your axes, if you just click on them once or click on the number once, you'll see it highlights all the numbers. Again, this should be about 12 to make it easier to read. And for your legend by default will go on the side. If you want to change the format of where the legend is, if you go to layout, you've got this option here of legend. It'll give the options whether you don't want a legend at all, but generally you do. Or if you want to put it on the bottom side, it's pretty good about showing you in orange highlighting where it's going to be. So let's say we want to put it on the bottom. If we click on it, go back to home, and increase the size of this to 14, it's going to make our legend a lot easier to see. Now how about our chart? Let's say we have our data, but we don't like the markers. Markers are a bit hard to change, but not that hard. So you have to go to the data series, and you want to right-click on it. And when you right-click on it, you should see all the data highlight it. You should see click the button that says Format Data Series. You've got a few options here. Marker options are going to give you the ability to change the shape of the marker. Now, I'm not a huge fan of these squares. For some odd reason, that's the fourth option. So if you click on Built In, you get a drop-down menu, and preferably you'd want to go with Circle. And this is going to switch them all to circles. Now, this is going to automatically save whatever changes you make. So if you want to go back to the crosses, you're going to have to do that yourself. It's not going to default if you hit Cancel. The other option here is the marker fill. Now typically you're going to do a solid marker. Now by default it's doing the blue, but let's say you want to change to black. You've got that option as well. Now let's say you did this, but this is actually supposed to be a continuous plot. What can you do? If you click on the plot area, the chart tools options are going to show up, and we've got the design. If you click change chart type, this is where you have the option of going back through and switching between a scatter with no lines and let's say a scatter with lines. If you click OK, the lines are going to reappear. So this is how you can change the aesthetic appeal of your graph, and this is what you want to do for your lab notebooks. You want to utilize these chart layout options, and you want to utilize the chart color options. Now there are default color options up here on the top. I don't really recommend these, and the reason I don't really recommend these, it doesn't generally give you good ideas. If you make a change and you don't like it, good keyboard shortcut here is Ctrl Z. And what Ctrl Z does is it undoes any mistake you've made, any previous operations you've done. And this is it for making it look aesthetically appealing. This is the type of graph you want to see. Nice, big, well-defined markers, nice, big, well-defined axes and labels.